And we're live. What's happening, everybody? This is Kicking It with Kist, episode 4. And we're live. And I got a lovely guest today, my good friend, Sara Bush.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yup. So how you doing today, fam? What's going on?
Good. I'm excited
What's
to do
new?
this.
What's new in life?
There's a lot new in life.
Yeah.
I'm working at Airmaster Heating and Air Conditioning. I am the manager of the service department. I take people to court that don't pay us money. I've been there
Take people to court?
I do. Because people they get services and then they don't want to pay or whatever. And so I just take them to small claims, but I'm the one who handles all of that. I just do a lot. I love it. I've been there 4 years. It's like a family.
4 years?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta have cool bosses that you work for and shit.
Oh yeah. I plan, honestly.
How'd you get into that?
My cousin worked there as a salesman, and then I was 19. I was going to college for early childhood education to be a teacher. I decided I did not want to be a teacher anymore, and I went into this office job, and honestly, you make way more money than being a teacher.
What made you venture away from being a teacher? Was it the money?
No, it wasn't the money. It was honestly, my uncle died, and I went into work, and I realized I had zero patience anymore. I couldn't be the best teacher that I wanted to be for the children because mentally I wasn't ready. I wasn't stable enough, with just my uncle dying, and then after that, a lot more deaths followed, so I just stopped. Honestly, it was the best decision I ever made because working at what I do now, I have my own office, I have people that are family, I've had my own house since I was 20, so
that's fucking awesome.
Do you
ever think about maybe going back to doing teaching later on?
No. Honestly, with my company, I plan to be there a long time. I have a lot of, I can just go up and up and up. And, and that's, I like where I'm at. If I'm ever unhappy.
Are you guys a big scale company or smaller?
So we were.
Family owned?
My boss, Michael Levy, he, great, shout out to Michael Levy.
Shout out to Michael Levy.
He was one man in a truck 40 years ago. He started it, now we have over 50 employees, but, we just sold to a bigger company. So now he's still there running it and everything, but a bigger company owns us who has 36 other companies or more. So now it's bigger scale. So that's why I said I plan to be here a while because, they'll be around a long time.
For sure. Exactly. I mean, if everything's good, I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it,
And that's where I said if I'm
ever
hindering
you on doing anything
unhappy,
else with your life,
I'll go. That's how I've been at any job. If I become unhappy, I go. Because
put this a little bit closer.
I know that I can go anywhere.
Scoot there. That's perfect.
I know that I can go anywhere and, succeed, so.
For sure. Yeah, you've been kicking ass. You're how old?
23.
Hell yeah. You bought your second house now.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Good.
I know you've been doing your own home improvement in that motherfucker.
It was so I didn't buy it. So my first house, I rented it, randomly, figured it out, whatever. I'm in Ferndale. It's really expensive, but I love being 3 minutes from my job.
It's a nice area though, right?
The owners of the liquor store at the end of my street at my old house, they began to love me. They were like, yo, we have this big house, it's 3 bedrooms, basement, upstairs. You can have it for the same price that you pay at your other house.
Oh, nice.
I was like, okay, cool, let me go look at it. I looked at it.
That's our special guest that's hiding over in the corner.
Literally. What's up, Brook Flat?
She shouted her out.
So irritating.
But no, keep going.
So I was like, yeah, let me look at it. The bathroom was an old Detroit style bathroom. I was like, it's a deal breaker, can't do it. They remodeled it for me.
What? Well, that's
I got to pick the floor, porcelain. I picked it all. I did it all.
You're about to redo it. Fuck yeah, you might as well.
I made it mine.
Spice it up how you like,
Yeah, and it's been nice, but I have a crazy neighbor that I'm now learning. She has schizophrenia. and just screams my name.
Are you kidding me?
I have a megaphone. Since I got the megaphone, she hasn't messed with me, but like, I'm really about to scream out my window with this megaphone like they use at a sports event. Like, leave me alone. I'm about to say her name, but leave me alone.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
You can't reason with crazy, man.
No, I mean, that's tough. Especially when you move anywhere, like, that's what I always hope for, like, anywhere I go, is that I have fucking some cool neighbors.
Her parents go to Greece
Okay.
6 months out the year.
Yeah. And her
She
parents.
don't take her medication 6 months out the year. She was cool until her parents left, and I woke up one morning like, what is going on?
Yeah, screaming your
Man.
name in the middle of the night.
It's
that's
not
just
even
kinda
only
crazy,
that.
bro.
It's some other crazy stuff. But I got a security system, got a shotgun. No one's about to mess with me.
That's sick. I mean, protecting your house, everybody's got to do that.
It's just, like I said, the cops all went to high school with her. Everyone on my blocks lived there 40
They know
years.
her?
They've all lived there 40 years. All the people on my block, the cops, whatever, they know her.
That's funny.
They say she's not
So they already
harmless.
know the deal.
Yeah, but I'm like, you say she's not harmless until she gets me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're all there like, oh, we should have did more for Sarah. So,
Have you ever tried talking to her?
I mean, no. Me and Brooke, like, we kind of screamed back out the window, like, why don't you want to be friends? She's like, I don't want to be friends with you guys. We're like, then stop screaming at us.
Yeah,
She always
for
says,
real.
like, let's go to court. I'm like, what are we going to go to court for?
Yeah,
Like,
flat out.
doesn't make sense.
What about mimosas?
Yeah.
You gotta step in real quick
Come
and just
on.
make some for us.
Can you make one for us?
No.
We're
I'm
slacking
over here.
mimosas. Our bartender's slacking a little bit.
Brooke is
So.
in the back enjoying the podcast.
She's so lame. Anyway, so I guess backstory for everyone real quick. Marcus, me, and Brooke, we've
Oh
all...
God.
Let's shout out the Grove. Okay,
Hanover.
let's shout out the
Hanover.
Grove.
That's where the real gangsters are from. So
Yeah, you lived on my street when
Yeah.
I was young.
I moved into Hanover and I was like,
Then lived on Brooks. Yeah.
probably like 9, something like that.
Yeah,
Like
I was-
3rd grade.
I was there
young.
since I was born.
For real.
Born and raised.
So I mean, it's a decent, Fraser. I mean, it's crazy now. Fraser's crazy now.
I can't believe.
It's a lot different, kind of, than when we were younger.
A lot different.
But I mean, it's not a bad place to raise a family.
It's not. I like that I moved to Ferndale though.
Yeah.
I lived in Fraser my whole life, and moving to Ferndale and just getting out of my town was
For
the
sure.
best.
Fraser's so small.
Yeah.
You got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, but I love it. I love like going over to my mom's house.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's me too. Same. Like
Feeling like I'm at home.
that's I think
Pretty
my
sweet.
favorite part. Just you walk in the house and it's like, this is my home.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
for
lay
sure.
on the
You're
couch.
comfortable.
You literally, definitely,
So. But yeah, we've been knowing each other for a long time.
long time
For
since
real.
we were little.
For real. So, I mean, one of the things that, now that everybody's got the rundown,
Yep.
they know you a little bit more. One of the things that I wanted to tap in with you is spirituality and the afterlife.
Yes.
I know that you fucks
Yes.
with it, for
Yeah.
real. So just touch base a little bit
Yeah.
on, like, what your beliefs are in that direction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of what you do believe, you know
Okay.
what I mean?
So, a lot of people, they mix up religion and spirituality. I'm not very religious. I'm spiritual. I believe, I've had 14 people just in the last 5 years pass away, 30 in my entire life.
Yes.
So, some people don't experience death.
No,
Some
yeah.
people don't at all, and then
Or at least not close, you know?
not close, or and then you start experiencing it out of nowhere a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I believe that they are here with us. I do go to mediums just once a year, because
How's that process?
it's
When did you first do that?
in 2019. So when Luke Valeri passed away, that was the start. August 6th, 2017, that was the start of, I realized life's about to hit you in the face because that was a very hard death for me, still is. And I went to a medium a little bit after, it was over by my work, and I just randomly went one day, and this lady told me things that nobody would know at all, you know. And then after I had that experience, I decided, you know, once a year I'm gonna do this because it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Hearing those things, you know, and I believe that, I don't even, not only just believe, but I know that they are here with us every single day. The things that these mediums have told me, nobody would know unless you were with me on a day-to-day basis.
So crazy. Isn't that shit fucking crazy?
It's nuts. I mean, the lady I just went to recently,
Like, how the fuck do you know that?
she told me that Luke Flaherty told her that my toilet seat was loose and I had to fix it, or I was gonna get a pinched ass. And I'm like, you know, my toilet seat was loose.
Yeah.
Why'd this lady from an hour away, 70 years old, sitting in her house, how's she know? And
Yeah.
Luke he would say some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm telling you, I mean, my mom and sister were thinking about going after my sister passed, and I don't know if they went yet, but my younger sister too, she loves that lady, what's her name? Long Island.
Teresa Caputo or something like that, yeah.
She wants to go see her. So I mean, and I've had friends that have told me about whether or not it's been mediums or sidekicks, but that shit is, I mean, it's crazy. A lot of people think, I mean, I don't know. I don't know
life-changing.
if it's fucking, I've never done it.
You don't know until you
If it's
go
a
do it
gimmick or-
yourself.
yeah,
You
you know
don't,
what I
when
mean?
you
So-
go yourself, and you know, like, another thing that was really crazy is the last time I went, you know, she said to me, you know how Luke, they all do that golf outing for him. The lady looked at me and she goes, I have someone here and he's mad. You haven't went to an outing. And
Really?
she's like, it's golf. Like, he's mad. And I looked at her, I'm like, fuck. You know, I know it's Luke, you know, I haven't. She said that, he said he doesn't care if you don't talk to nobody. He wants you to go. Even if you don't golf, he wants you to drive the golf cart.
Yeah.
He said, stop going to my grave and crying on that day. I don't want to see that shit.
Really?
I go to his grave on that day instead of going to the golf outing. I go to his grave with Ariana, you know, we sit up, drink some White Claws, whatever, you know, and we cry. We just sit there and cry, but
For sure.
how'd the lady know that? You know?
That's what I don't know. There's certain shit that does, like, there's that, and there's other stuff that leads up to making you think, like you said, not even so much religion, but just the afterlife and spirituality and the spirit living on, you know.
I always say, you know, people, because I come across people all the time that just don't believe in it. And, you know, I always say, well, you see all these ghost sightings and these things about ghosts or whatever. That wouldn't be a thing if they don't, you know, if spirits weren't a thing. You know, like, it's a thing. You just, you know, you have to be open to it. You have to accept it.
And
you have to talk to them.
Honestly,
you know?
like, I feel, at least in my opinion, it kind of helps relieve a little bit of that grief and anxiety when you do just be like, all right, like, you see shit, certain stuff reminds you of someone, you know, and, you know, you could either, it can make you sad, you know, still, regardless, you know, and that's just gonna happen, but, depending on how you look at it and go about it.
Well, and that's like, you know, one of my biggest things with my grief is do those little things for yourself. Meaning, if you wake up one day and you don't want to get out of bed because you are so dragged down by that grief, take the day off. Stay in bed. But guess what? The next day you get up. You pick yourself back up and you go. But do those things for yourself, because when you stop doing those things for yourself is when the grief is going to consume you. You know, every time I go buy a pack of woods, I buy Jimmy's favorite pack of woods. You know, there's just little things, like I take off every birthday and death date of my loved one that has passed. I take that day off. You know, my boss has a timesheet slip with everyone, all these dates on it. I'm not coming to work this day, because I need that day.
Yeah,
And
I
that day,
respect that.
I do whatever it is that I want to do to make my heart happy.
Yeah.
And you have to do it for yourself,
For
or
sure.
you're not going to get through it, because grief can be heavy.
Yeah, to just sit there and let it just engulf
Consume
you.
you.
You know, yeah.
It can consume you.
You don't know what to do. So I feel like a lot of it is, staying busy too.
Yeah.
That helps out a lot.
You have to.
And like you said, taking some time for yourself.
It's so important.
Just work, go,
you
go,
can't
go.
just work, and it's those mental days, like, sometimes you don't expect those. You don't expect it to get you that day. You know what I'm saying? You can wake up and it can be the littlest thing, but it's like, take that day to yourself, because if the people around you, like, really loved you, like, the place where you work or whatever, they'll understand.
For sure.
And if they don't understand, guess what? Get a better job.
Get
better people in your life, because
I'm telling
it's
you,
what matters.
When, like, my bosses, like, that was huge for me. Like, the whole time, when my sister was sick and up until, like, she passed, my bosses were, like, constantly, like, calling me, checking on me. You know what I mean?
It's so important.
It's like some of these places you work for, like, you work for a fucking corporation or, like, a warehouse. Like,
yeah.
They might not even fucking really talk to you already.
Exactly.
So, and then when you're going through something like that, to have, like, your boss, not only that, but the other people, but your boss, that's a big factor.
Yeah.
Especially when they're supporting you.
Oh, it's
when
so
you're going
important.
through stuff like that.
You need those people, because it's what gets
so
you
much
through
easier
it.
to work for people,
No, and that's where I said, like, if you're unhappy, go.
Mm-hmm.
If you are unhappy with your management or anything, go. Do not waste a second of your time being unhappy, because you can be happy.
For sure.
And that's why I think, it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset.
I think you're totally right. Like I said, it's crazy. I didn't really think heavy about it until I was older. Like, I always grew up, my whole, like, family, my broad family are all Christians.
Right.
And my intermediate family, like, they're Christians too.
Right.
And, like, religion, I got different views on religion, as opposed to spirituality.
Right.
But there is something bigger,
There is something bigger, and I knew there was something bigger when, in 2003, when my parents got into a car crash and my dad broke his neck. But when they opened his neck to fix his broken neck, they found cancer. He would have died of cancer if it wasn't for him breaking his neck. Something is bigger out there. You know what I mean? There's a reason for everything. And, it's really hard to sometimes, I think with, like, all the grief, it comes into grief when, it's easy to say, why did this happen? Everything. It hurts sometimes when people say there's a reason for everything, but there really is,
even when you don't want to see
Even when you don't want to see it, you have to find that silver lining of the situation. The way that I like to think, my friend Jimmy, he was killed, and, I can't make sense of it. But what if he's saving our lives? What if he's saving our lives every day and we don't even know? You know what I mean? You never know. And so you have to know that there is a bigger picture.
And it's hard to accept those thoughts.
I don't talk to people. I don't talk to anybody who doesn't believe in, like, spirituality or religion. Like, they just don't believe in nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, it's not that I don't, like, just don't talk to them, but it's just, like, we can't correlate. I accept your views, but you have to believe, you have to know.
I think, I get that, and I do, like, I respect, at the end of the day, like, you can feel however you want.
Right.
If you choose not to believe in anything. I know my belief system has just went up and down, like, my whole life. Like, I went from being, like, wishy-washy believer, like, having faith, and then my faith got really strong at one point.
Right.
And then it flip-flopped, and then I was like, what even is this? Like, Christianity, like, what is this? Like, is there a God? And that happens, especially when you grow as a person.
My whole life.
And you
I went to Grace Christian Church, like, till I was 16.
Yeah.
You know, I went, but
And that's the thing, especially it's kind of hard when you're a kid, and if you're already in a family that
my
and then
family
as you
didn't
grow
press it.
older-
They
No.
didn't press it. My family
That's good.
was you do whatever
Mine
whatever
too.
you want, and that's what was cool growing up with my family is that I was given like free range of thinking, doing, and my parents are older, they're 63. So I was able to make my mistakes and they stood by me and it made me a better
They
person.
supported you. Yeah.
They supported me in any way, whatever it was that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's important.
I'm telling you, like, when you have parents that are like that don't put anything on you, they just want you to be a good person.
Yeah.
And they want you to be who you want to be.
And then they accept you, and when you make those
I tell
mistakes,
my mom all the time, like, if my mom wasn't such a, like, just a loving mother, like, in every way, there's no way I would be, like, the type of dude that I am now.
Well, and I can tell you right now, you're a great guy. Like, and I know you. You know what I mean? And it's because of where you came up from, too. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of guys, and you see their family and where they came up from, and it explains it. It explains it.
That makes everything. Where you come from, your home, and you could still make it and be a different, you are a product of your environment, but you can change. You can. Like, if you grow up in a shit situation, it's going to be way harder.
That is the biggest thing.
Like, there's people that got it better than others.
Yeah.
Like, if you grow up in the suburbs and your fucking family has money and you're allowed to make mistakes and, fuck off and whatnot, as opposed to someone who's born, in a terrible neighborhood that doesn't have any money, doesn't have any room to fuck up.
Right.
And they're just living in poverty.
Yeah.
They just want to make a better life, but it's so hard for them,
And, that was one of my biggest things. Growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money. It was, but I got everything that I wanted and needed. It wasn't questioned about it. My parents would give me their last $10 if I needed it. But I didn't have to stay in that situation. You know what I'm saying? You see, I grew up and I started working and I got my own house at 20 years old because I didn't want to live in a townhouse no more. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I didn't just sit down and, I grew up in a bad situation. It wasn't even a bad situation, so let me not even say that. But, I see a lot of people, though, that grow up in bad situations and they hang on to it. Like, oh, but my childhood was this and oh, it was that, but you have to be an adult and get through it. And guess how good it's going to feel when you do.
I'm telling you. It is, I feel like me personally, if I didn't go through the struggles that I went through, I definitely wouldn't be the type of dude
I was
that
nuts.
I am today.
I know all of Frasier's going to be watching this. I was nuts, I went through it. I went through it.
Yeah, but that's the
when
thing,
I was like 12, 13.
You are not the person that you were.
No, and
people,
I wouldn't be this person I am today if I didn't go through all of that. I going to the mental hospital, at 12 years old. Was it 12? Yeah, 12 years old. Changed my life.
Yeah.
And I always told people, I know other girls that went to the mental hospital and they would say, I hate my parents for putting me in there. And I'm like, you did the actions that put you in there, but you've got to learn something from all the people you met. And I did. I took a lot from the mental hospital.
Yeah.
Everybody's life.
You know what I mean? I feel like you got to make the best out of whatever the fuck's going on.
You do.
Life,
You do. And
if you're there, you're there. So.
Well, and you learn from it. And like I said, I looked at everyone around me and, we'd go around in a circle, what's wrong? And, I was talking about people bullying me. I was sad about people being mean to me because people were so mean to me because they made up these assumptions in their head of what I was and what I did. And then, I just, but then I looked at the other people that were there and they watched their parents get killed and they, got raped every day for 10 years and I'm sitting there like, shit. Like, you know, why?
For real.
Why am I sad?
Yeah.
These people don't
well,
matter.
You can realize, yeah, exactly.
And
in a minute, how good you got it. Like, your shit
Man.
can be fucked up, but
And
someone always is way more fucked up than you.
All those people that talked bad about me and, tortured me.
Yeah.
Truly, like, at a point, I'm over them now. Like, I'm doing better than them now. So, like, you have to go through it. And at a young age, I think, and I don't know if there's a lot of younger, if any younger viewers see this, but, like,
yeah, for sure.
My cousin, 12 years old, just killed herself. And I watched her TikToks. I seen them after the fact. She said, I just wish somebody would tell me that it gets better. And that's, it broke my heart because, like, I wish I would have seen that TikTok before so I could tell her, it does get better.
Yeah.
Like, I was there. And so this was another reason why I wanted to do this podcast because it's about to be a year since she's been gone, and I wanted to do something in honor of her, and, our topic was grief and loss, and, I figured that was a good way to, get a message out to people that need to hear this from us, to hear this discussion.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And a lot of people might have needed to hear that. So, you never know. You never know what people are going through.
You never do. And
life's tough.
You have to be so nice. Like, I make it a point in my life, and it sounds silly.
Nice.
Everyone thinks I'm stupid, but I'm extremely nice to fast food people. Like, yeah. I'm like, thank you. I'm just nice to everybody.
Yeah.
So, and I run into people on the phone all the time at work, working with building departments and stuff. People are rude.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And I'm like, and I tell them off, like, I am being nice to you. Like, you should check your attitude because someone's being nice to you. Like, you should choose to be nice.
I mean, you got to treat people the way that you want to be treated,
You have to.
There's no point in being an asshole.
There's no reason. So. There's no reason for it. And a lot of people wake up, decide, waking up, it's a choice to wake up and be happy. If you wake up and decide to say it's a bad day, it's going to be a bad day.
For sure. So, another thing I wanted to touch on was, like, past regrets. Like, how do you feel about past regrets? Not just, like, the ones that you have, but, like, how do you feel about going about them, using them as motivation, and using them in a way that it's not going to eat at you, but instead it's going to benefit you? You know what I mean? Because all of us have regrets, not just you, not just me, but everybody else who watches.
Yeah. I think that, for me, my biggest thing is don't have regrets. Don't waste time thinking about... waste time for a second, like, not waste time, but think about for a second what you did and how you could have did it better. But don't think about it day in and day out. Don't go to the past. You can't keep going to the past because you got to go to the future. And that's one thing is I don't try to overthink into things that I have done. I take responsibility for the things I have done.
For sure.
Or what I'll be honest about it. That's one big thing, too, is be honest about it. If somebody asks you about it,
100%.
You straight up be honest about
100%.
it. Because if you're not honest about it, then you're not honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be honest about it. And so that lets me live a life of no regrets. I ask people, I just rewatched my principal in high school. I did the graduation speech, and I won an award for principal award. He got up there, and he did a speech about me. And I just watched it for the first time since high school, 2017.
Yeah.
And
just pull that mic a little closer. That's it, right there. Turn it a little. That's it.
And he said that, he was like, he was a counselor for 10 years, and he said, I've sat in front of thousands of faces, thousands of minds, and, Sara had the ability to sit in front of me and ask me to be critical of her and, of what she could do to do better next time. And you have to check yourself. You have to check yourself. You have to listen to what others say, listen to their advice of what they're telling you. Take bits and pieces of everyone's advice, and you need to check yourself, and you need to take responsibility, and then you need to move on.
all day. Yeah, it's almost like you're not even looking at them as regrets. They're more so lessons.
It's lessons. That's what I said. You know, it's you live and you learn. You can't go back. So why put that burden on yourself? Choose to be happy.
For
Change
sure.
your mind.
So, what the fuck were you doing this summer? Anything new? I seen you were up north.
Yeah, I went up north. Me and Ariana. It's sad because we went up
Where about up north?
in Glenny, Michigan. My family's had a house up there since I was 4. So,
nice.
Me and Ariana and Sean, our best friend, we go up there. I haven't been up there in 2 years though, and because I've been working a lot. Summer's my busiest season, really, at work. I get a lot of overtime. I like it. But we went up north, me and Ariana. We called my boss on the beach and was like,
So
can
fun.
we stay another day? Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to come back. My
Right.
boss is like, don't call me with this bullshit.
That's what I said.
You
fuck,
already
bro.
know
It's
you
about to
can
be
stay.
cold soon. It's gonna be cold soon. Gotta go a couple more times before fucking.
We gotta
gets
definitely
cold.
get up there. And it's not bad, and, like, chilly. It's not, can't go through cold, but chilly.
For sure. Yeah. So what the fuck's going on? What's going on with dating nowadays? Relationships. Why is it so hard to fucking find somebody? You know what I mean?
The way that I look at it,
What
it's
the fuck's
crazy.
going on nowadays?
I don't know. Like for me, personally, when I was 14, I fell in love. Like I had my first love, Alan.
Me
Alan,
too. I did
don't
the
even
same
care.
thing.
Listen, we used to go on double dates. Okay, our first
Yeah, run it.
Our first loves, and
Everybody's
that
got
love was so real. And actually, when I went to a medium, she said his name, Alan, and she said, you guys were married in 2 past lives, but chose to break up in this one. And it made so much sense because he's one of my best friends. It's not a relationship that I want to be with him. We did have that fairy tale love. It was something I have never felt before, but, we weren't meant to be together forever. And I haven't found somebody that I love more after him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe for dating, just wait and let that person come to you. I had that one relationship for 4 years. It was miserable. Why stay in a relationship that you are miserable? Like, why do that to yourself?
I feel like a lot of younger people right now are just having trouble with that shit.
Well, they have to find themselves first, too.
Then they be on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this, like, perception of, like, you gotta be dating someone, and you gotta be fucking... Like, everybody seems happier on social media.
Yeah, there's also that perception of people, like, thinking cheating's cool and shit.
Cheating is fucked.
Cheating's not cool.
Cheating is fucked.
Guys
Let's
think
talk
more
about
hoes,
it.
more better.
Let's talk
Listen.
about
They
it.
ain't it.
Look at... We're glad that
Done.
she's here now,
We're out of
because she
here.
just got it going.
We gotta go like
Okay.
cheating. I
Cheating.
mean,
How do you feel about that? That shit's just...
I've been a cheater. I mean, I've cheated.
Right.
Because I was
Keep it
unhappy,
real.
like I said, miserable. I mean, what are you supposed to do when you're telling the person you don't want to be with them and they still want to stay?
Yeah.
So what do? You cheat.
That's tough.
But it's not nice.
tough.
It's not good.
No.
It's not.
I just don't,
There's no
I mean,
point.
I'm not gonna say I'm a cheater. I'm not a cheater. It makes you feel like shit.
It
You
does.
know?
And I think, but my thing of why I'm like,
I mean, some people don't have like as much of like. Some people don't give a fuck. They'll just do whatever.
I'm not a
like,
silent cheater.
go home and then like lay
I'll
down.
tell on myself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
not a
worse.
silent cheater.
It's worse when someone goes out and does that shit and then plays it off like
Right.
like they love
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, no,
Shit's kind of slimy.
I'm vocal about it.
Yeah.
So and I don't now, after my one relationship, I don't put myself in that situation.
Well, that's a big problem. I always say that goes along with cheating is that obviously someone's not happy.
Mhm.
Like, there's gotta be. I've talked to fucking guys,
Yeah.
and they're like, they don't even want to go home and see their fucking girl.
And it's
It's
like,
like, why are
but it
you
falls
with
on
that
the
person?
girl a lot too, because the girls are quick to jump to guys.
Mhm.
Now that's my big thing is like I'm totally on the guy side for some things because some girls are just like, chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out. Why are you making things so miserable? You make them not want to come home.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, for real.
Stop. Stop tripping every second of the day. You know what I mean? Stop overthinking. Stop. A lot of girls are insecure and they're not
Guys are
comfortable
too,
with
though. There's guys that are
themselves. And
insecure.
guys too. But like, they're not comfortable with themselves. They make it miserable.
You cannot be in a relationship if you're insecure.
You can't.
It's just not gonna
You
work.
can't. It doesn't go.
You're always worried about fucking getting cheated on or what that someone else is doing. It's like I used to kind of be like that when I was younger. Like when I had a girlfriend, I was like, Well, but it's like, dude, if you got a girl and she looks good and you go out, there's gonna be a guy that's fucking looking at your girl.
Well, and it's like I've always been realistic.
Vice versa,
You have to be realistic. A lot of people aren't realistic. So when I had my first love, I knew I took his virginity. He was fine and a superstar. You know what I mean? Like, girls were going to want him. And guess what? Like, I'm not about to sit here and get cheated on. Like, go do you. Go have sex. Do all that because that's what young men are supposed to do. So, like, I was realistic about it. And that actually set the tone, I think, for everything. You have to be realistic.
For sure.
Can't be stupid.
Like I said, as long and especially, I don't know, like, I feel like you gotta be attracted, to your significant other.
Sexually attracted, mentally, emotionally, all of it.
It's gotta be a spiritual,
everything. You have
it's all
to
gotta go together. Like I said, if you don't miss that person when you're away from them, I feel like it's kind of.
See, I'm picky. Like when it comes to like dating and stuff, like
that's
one
fine.
One thing, I'm like, we don't see eye to eye. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I just go. I shouldn't ghost, but I do. But you just. I realize,
it's hard.
The guy's socks were dirty, and I was like, I'm never seeing you again.
Yeah, like what he had white socks on.
It was like,
and the bottom
listen, wait, ready. Let me tell you. Wait, ready. Let me tell you. Like the old Nike white socks, like from like maybe 2012, the short ones, like with the black Nike socks, and they were like yellow. Like, boy, those are supposed to be white. Why do we even wear them? I have standards for things, and like I will never talk to you again. Like I told him, I said, you check your hygiene. It has to be up to par. If you did, it's a real thing. I'm ruthless.
It's okay to be picky, though.
Gotta let him know too.
It's okay to be picky. I say that shit all the time because when you're not picky and then people settle, that's when you end up in that situation where someone's cheating or. Because that's the thing, you settle. People that are single, they get fucking lonely.
Yeah.
Which everybody gets lonely and shit, but none of you got the people that are like, well, I'm lonely, so I'm just going to be with this person because I want some company.
Right,
but
right.
It's not a good move because at the end of the day, one of you is going to realize either someone's going to be in more than the other person, which is never good.
Yeah, and then you have people that want to eat their cake, you know what I'm saying? They want to have that and then be able to do what they want to do on the side, but it's like, why? Why do you want to be able to do that? Well, at that point,
just be
why
single.
don't you make it an open relationship then?
Or be single.
But
like
it's
I
hard,
say,
because people are insecure no matter what.
Like, everybody,
people have insecurities.
I talk about this with my boy, like, if you're single, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, if you want to fucking sleep around, people are probably gonna call you a hoe, guy or a girl, if you're sleeping around. But if you're single, you're doing whatever you want. That's fine. If you have ties to someone else, and you're saying you're committed to that person, you're supposed to be committed to that person, and you shouldn't be doing that shit.
Right. Wait, you want to know what makes me laugh, though?
Unless you're going to be, like you said, open about it.
Right.
What makes me laugh? Let me tell you guys what makes me laugh. What makes me laugh, okay, is that these guys out here think they just got it like that, right? They can just be single, fuck what they want, do what they want. But why do they gotta try so hard? Why do they gotta make up lies and tell you shit that ain't true just to get some pussy? Like, you don't have to be all like, you don't have to do all that extra shit, and then after you get the pussy, it's like, okay, whatever, this is that, whatever. But it's like, you did all that, you told me all that shit for what?
Yeah.
When you could have been straight up.
But that's
And
the
that's
thing.
how
You just
shaken
gotta
people
keep
don't
it
know how to
real.
be upfront and real. They don't know how to
See,
be
and
real.
Yeah, you just gotta keep it real.
See, I went through, I'm going through, a situationship for like, it's been like, what, 9 years now that like we've been whatever we are. And I guess that's where like I learned like, like I said with Alan, I learned be realistic, and then like with him, it's like, we're just honest. You just be honest about stuff because we don't want to be together. Like, we don't want to be together. Sometimes we like hanging out, but,
Yeah.
But it's not healthy, so it's not healthy. You gotta.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, with my situationship, the medium, the psychic lady, she told me that he's owned me for 7 lifetimes.
really? What does she mean by that?
He was a king, and he bought me at 12 years old. She told me all these crazy details, right? Okay, so then I'm
What
like...
is she on? I want some of that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, what?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, but
it makes sense. She's like, that's why you're devoted to him. You need to cut the ties and get over... Like, you need to be done. Like, break the cycle.
wow.
I was like, well, I got his birthday tattooed, so now I gave him an 8th life. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's...
No, but it's messed up, but back to the spirituality, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
and sometimes when you get in those situations and it all just meshes together and everything's supposedly...
It's crazy.
It all kind of aligns. It is weird.
It's nuts, but that just shows you, everything in life happens for a reason. And,
Yeah.
But I realized, going to the lady, okay, I need to cut the ties, to be healthy and...
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, yeah, if you're gonna be with somebody, you just gotta be faithful.
You should.
And if you're gonna be whatever, like, I mean, I don't do the whole fucking open relationship thing, whatever,
No,
bro. Swinging
not at
and
all.
shit, that's not my deal. If
No.
you do that and your partner's cool with that, fuck it.
You really don't love each other if that's what you do. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not my thing, but...
I feel like...
Yeah, that's just kind of weird to me. I feel like when you're with someone, it should be like,
Do you think about, like, getting married?
Intimacy is important when you're... Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like you don't have to... I was just talking about this with a friend the other day. Like, you don't have to get married if you don't want to. There's people that are like, oh, well, why do I have to get married to say I love this person? Like, whatever. And people put a... I don't think you should put a limit on anything, especially love.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about how you feel about the other person. So
Exactly.
I personally would like a wedding. I think weddings are fucking fun. It's good. It's nice to celebrate with the people you care about. You know what I mean? So some people aren't with that shit. You do whatever you want to do, but at the end of the day,
do you
you're
have
telling
like
somebody that you love them.
an age? So like how girls they put an age on stuff like, oh, I want to have a baby by this age, or I want to get married by this age. Do you have an age that you think about getting like that you want to be married by, or like start your family by? Like
I say that all the time too. That I don't put an age on like anything. Like,
I was about to say I don't either.
Like it's
I don't
all
think
about how
it.
you feel. I got friends that are getting married.
Yeah.
That are some of them are having kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are single. It comes at whatever stage. If you're ready, I feel like to make that step with someone, and
you'll know when you're ready.
It's between you. Like that's another thing that goes with the whole perception. People see that, oh, I'm 25, 26. Right. Should I be getting married right now? Am I getting a house? Is like that what I need to be doing?
Right.
It's like, why the fuck? You're not even dating someone. Why the fuck would you be thinking that you need to get married right now?
Exactly.
No, keep doing what you want to do, and then when that time comes for you, that's just what's going on in that person's life.
Yeah.
So it's all about whatever comes for you and whatever you feel. At least personally, this is all just my opinion, you know. But yeah. And then if you wanna take that step with someone and commit like that, it doesn't have to be marriage. It doesn't have to be legal documentation. It could just be two people telling each other that that's what they want.
Right, exactly.
It's all about action too, because people can get fucking married and then still cheat. And get divorced and so.
Yeah, I've never been one to fantasize.
Marriage is fucking. It's no joke. It's no joke. You're doing that shit. All that shit is, and then when you have to go through a divorce, like, I feel like it's crazy. Some people fucking get married like 5-6 times. What the fuck?
Like, I don't want
Out of your
that.
mind.
I don't want
Get
that.
married
I'm
one
chilling.
time.
That's what I'm saying. One time, I'm chilling. And I don't even fantasize about getting married or anything. Like, you know, some girls, like, really fantasize about it. Like, I don't think about it. You know, even, like, with kids, like, I really don't, like, whatever happens, happens. If it's meant to be, it will be, like.
Yeah. That's what I always say. Like,
very go with the flow.
You never know. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
Whatever ends up coming to you in your life, it's just different seasons, you know?
No, exactly.
It's crazy. But what about you? What do you plan on doing in the future?
Honestly, like,
You said you want to stay with this company, huh?
I mean, I want to
You're
stay
gonna
with
keep
this
grinding
company.
it out there?
I take care of myself 100%. Like, you know, Ariana's actually about to move in with me. So that'll be cool.
Sweet.
I've been living alone for, 3 years now.
Yeah, so gonna get a roomie.
It'll be nice to have a roomie. I'll have some extra money, because I pay everything by myself and I live in Ferndale. It's expensive,
For sure.
So it'll be nice.
Yeah, and everything's fucking expensive right now.
Everything, man. I just got a raise though. Like, I just got a raise and stuff. So that was cool. The company gave everyone a 5% raise. So like that was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Just out of being nice. But I just plan on going with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah, me and you are a lot alike in that sense.
Sometimes
you just gotta go with the flow.
Stay.
You gotta make shit happen, but you still gotta go with the flow too.
Yeah, it's whatever happens, happens.
For sure. We touched on a bunch of shit.
Yeah, no, I think this is
literally.
This is good.
Loss, dating.
I guess let's talk to you. Like, how are you doing?
Me?
With the loss of Britley,
honestly, it changed my life in a drastic way, the way I look on a lot of things. I really do a lot of things differently now, and I just care about a lot now more than I did before. And I realize how short life can be, because you never know, and that's why I tell people all the time, it's not worth it. Like, fucking living life, walking on eggshells. People put up a front. Like, now more than ever, I feel comfortable with who I am, like, as a person. A lot of people don't in life. It's hard as fuck to find that. I'm only 25, and my whole young adult life, I feel like I was just trying to be all different types of people.
Right. You were just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And that's what life's all about. Some people don't figure that shit out till they're in their 40s or 50s. Some people figure it out earlier than others. But regardless, loss, for me, impacted my life. And it made me just realize a lot of things, especially with just loving people while they're here.
You have to.
Loving everybody, caring for people.
You have to tell them you love them too. You have to. You have to tell them you love them.
And I use most of it as motivation. Like I said, now everything to me is more assertive.
Yeah.
I try to live life with more purpose. Like, even doing the podcast or doing new shit. Like, I won't just now I won't just sit in the back seat.
Exactly.
Just on cruise control. I'm more in control of my life now.
Yeah.
So.
And that's amazing. Good for you.
You never know what it is going to be that happens that's detrimental to your life.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you go about it. And it hurts, especially loss. Loss is tough. And it's fucking, everybody deals with it differently than others. But the way that you choose to go about your life, and you got to think about it a lot too. I had a buddy of mine that lost his father, and when we were younger, and I asked him when my sister passed, I asked him about just how you deal with it, what's the best way to go about it, and he told me, how there's going to be a lot of shit that you see that reminds you that you think about them and it might hurt, but the best way to go about it is to just
smile.
Think about the good things.
Definitely.
Don't let those thoughts of how much that you miss them, but especially,
and it's them too. They're giving you those signs, and you have to accept those signs because it's them.
For sure.
And if you don't, it'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
And help you get you through it.
All
Because,
day.
you using all this as motivation and everything, it's Brittany's giving
Like,
you strength.
I know that, like, my sister, if she would have been here, she would have been, like, my number one supporter with my podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, doing stuff like this, I know that...
She would have loved to come on here with you, too.
So, for sure. Well, she actually did, like, her own little YouTube
I was
thing.
watching it.
Yeah.
I was watching it. I did.
And I'm like, so I'm already behind, you know.
Yeah.
She
No,
was,
you better
she was
catch up
ahead
to
of the
Big Sis.
game. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's tough, but, you got to just tough it out. Be there for the people you care about, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Let them know you love them. And live life to the fullest, because there's not really any time to waste.
There is none. Like, for example, Juju,
Gotta
he
just
was
do your
the
thing.
security guard at Dooley's, and he was killed.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I met him, I just thought he was great. Like, he was such a good person.
A lot of people said a lot of good stuff about him. Yeah.
He was just a great person. Like, so every time I seen him, I went to Dooley's. Me and Brooke had our days. And
Turning
every time I went, I would buy him a shot, and we would go outside and we would take it. And, and I would be like, I love you, Juju. Like, thank you for protecting us. He protected us a million times in that bar. And I'm happy that I did that, because then when he died, I had no regrets.
Yeah.
I told him I loved him, even though I didn't know him.
For sure.
I felt like he was a good person, and, you have to tell those people, that you love them, because people won't be here forever.
I'm telling you. You ain't lying. That's big.
Definitely.
For sure. We fucking talked about a bunch of shit. What else you want to throw out here, bro?
Nothing.
Anything else?
Right.
You hopped on a couple topics.
Yeah,
You were
definitely.
spitting some game. What else? What else you got to say to the people?
I don't really
Talk
have
about
anything
it.
to say.
What about you, Sarah? What else we want to talk about?
I don't know. I knew this was going to be a good podcast because we've sat on my couch before, and we should have had a podcast then.
How do you feel about psychedelics?
Ooh, I microdose in the winter time. Shrooms.
You told me about those one thing.
They're
you were
gummies.
doing.
No Cap Sweets. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out. Shout out
they're
to
based
the
in
No
Ann
Cap
Arbor.
Sweets. What about you, bro?
Oh, I don't do none of
You're
that.
scary. Yeah.
No,
I
I
don't
take
know.
drugs like that, like
The
Molly.
shrooms, I love the shrooms.
I take Molly as maybe once a year as like a I take it as like a spiritual trip. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
The microdosing, I need it because I can't take antidepressants. In the winter, I get emotional.
The
I
shrooms
get
are
crazy.
better for you than fucking antidepressants.
It's 0.5 grams of mushrooms in a gummy. You take 2 gummies, 3 days in a row, then 3 days off. And let me tell you,
mushrooms, they're putting psilocybin in
my
everything now.
mind.
Yeah, for real. I'm telling you, if you never,
it's
honestly,
not like a drug.
If you
People look
never,
at it
though,
bad.
had, like, that experience,
Mhm.
I don't know. I highly suggest it.
It opens your mind to a different,
Don't get me wrong, I tripped the fuck out on some mushrooms. Like, I
Yeah.
took 5 grams one time.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
about all that.
Bro,
I
I
don't
was
know
tripped
about
the
it.
fuck out.
I don't
Tripped the
like.
fuck out, bro. I was scared.
I only do like acid and shrooms if I'm up north with
Mhm.
Ariana. Me and her, we played Uno 10 hours with a visor on. Both of us matching visors. Like playing Uno, like every card we
You
put
do
down.
the right
with it.
amount, and you're just, everything's a little
Yeah.
wavy and funny.
Yeah.
But
I
just fucked up.
Molly is my drug of choice
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it's the spiritual trip for me.
Yeah.
I realize everything that I love in life and why everything makes sense, and I recently, did Molly up north with Ariana, and I went to sleep that night and I had a dream about an Instagram name, right?
Yeah.
Weird, random, right?
Yeah.
Had a dream about it, looked it up. Person messaged me a bunch of times, whatever. I never really said anything. Never said anything. I ended up deciding to respond, and weird, me and this kid, greatest of friends now, like,
What?
can't stop talking, like, hit spirituality, religion, like, everything just, like, matches up.
That's fire.
Weird, right?
Isn't it?
Why
Yeah.
did I have a dream about it? Why, why? But
Maybe you're gonna be a fucking medium. Maybe you can fucking...
A medium did tell me, she was like, Jimmy told me, and like I feel that like you'll be able to connect with spirits like down the road. This was in 2019. Over the times I have been able to connect, like, you know, even with your sister, you know, that's something that really shook me up. I know I remember, you know, I told you a week before she passed, I was in my bathroom and I had a whole thought about it. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, Britley's gonna pass away. Ariana's gonna be a mess. And did you see Ariana at the funeral?
Yeah.
I mean, like, so I was like, but it was like a whole, like, it was a whole thought. And then a week later, Ariana texted me, you know, and I'm like, why did I?
It's all good. It's all good. Here, hold up. I had a feeling she was gonna do that. It's all good. Fucking bro. She's fired. She was the camera crew.
Literally. But yeah, so like
Technical
I knew that.
TD, folks.
I hope
Technical
it fell
difficulty.
and had it on well on her
Just
foot too.
fucked the
Ew, stop
camera
it,
up.
my toes are not.
Yeah, right when we were in mid-conversation.
But
Whatever.
Sorry.
But no, like I had
That's
that
all
thought
good.
about your sister, you know, and then I was
Yeah.
so maybe,
For
maybe
real. You
I don't
never know. Fuck, dude. You never know what the future's gonna hold. For real. Life's going so fast right now.
Man, we're grown. We're grown. I have life insurance.
Yeah.
I have $110,000 life insurance policy
Really?
that I pay for myself because guess what? If I die, my parents, my friends, you know, like my people need to be set.
Yeah.
Like
That's good.
I want them
That's
to be
good
set.
know.
I've lost too many people young.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I would hate to have, you know, I've seen some of my friends' funerals, like, we had to scrounge dollars, you know, to, like, put on the funeral. Like,
All them funerals
I
are
want
fucking
I
expensive.
don't want my family to go through that.
That shit was expensive, man.
And I'm only
It's
23.
crazy. It's crazy.
So, get life insurance, everybody. Do, you know, do it
Well,
for your family.
That's not, like you said, though, that's something good. A lot of people don't even know about that
You
shit.
don't think about it.
No. Especially when you're young. 'Cause
You don't, because you don't think about it, but I started early. I thought about, I've been, well, actually, I'm not even gonna lie, my parents, they started my life insurance when I was 13, and then I continued it as soon as I turned 21. I started paying for it myself. Took it over, upped it, 50,000, you know, like, and I realized the, you know, urgency of it. Like, you know, it's good to have. So.
For sure. Well, we touched on a bunch of different shit.
We did.
I think literally we checked off everything off the list except for Brooke fucking up the camera. That wasn't on the
Right,
list.
that was not on the list.
But she did put some good input on shit.
Mhm.
So that was
I think it's a
fucking
good
awesome.
podcast. I think everyone is going
It was
to
good. It was
be
good.
interested in it.
For sure. People are gonna enjoy it. Like I said, we touched on a bunch of good shit, so
Yeah, deeper than what people go. You know,
Yeah.
people are scared to talk about those things. You know what
just
I'm
fucking
saying?
talk. Everybody's gotta talk,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And that's what's important about,
People
you
are
know.
fucking scared, like you said.
Yeah.
Whatever. Be
That's it.
yourself. Say what you gotta say.
Yes.
Fuck the bullshit. So this is
Exactly.
Kicking It with Kist, episode 4. Sarah Bush.
Yeah.
We had our homie
Brooke
Brooke.
Black.
in the house in the background, so the cameraman, she's fired. So I
Awesome.
hope you guys enjoyed.
Yep.
Stay tuned for more. Peace
Bye.
out.